Hey, it's Ken from Coffee Crafters, and I want to do a quick video while I have this Artisan XE opened up and show those industrious people who want to upgrade their Artisan 9 or Artisan XE to the XL configuration, how they can do it. It was a really simple change for us. It will be quite the job to tear the roaster down to get it to the point to where you can drill the holes and do whatever. But anyway, I'm going to show you what the difference was. So what we did on the XL is we rerouted the intake air that goes to the loft motor. So when we did our very first roasters, they got really hot because we didn't have the insulation dialed in like we have it now. And then, so we routed the intake air through the electrical void to cool the electronics, and then up through the loft motor, and that got the temperatures in line. When we fixed the insulation and really got it dialed in to where it no longer required that, we just left it the same way. After we did the Valenta 7 and we found out how much we could boost the performance by preheating the intake air, we went back and changed the XE air configuration so that it would also preheat the intake air. And this is what we did. So this is an Artisan XE, which is the same as an Artisan 9. And we covered up this is a simple part. You can just put tape over that. That's where the intake air used to go. It used to go through the back, down through there. And so we covered that up. The second thing we did, and this is where all the work comes in, is we put the holes all the way around here in the floor. So what we did with the Artisan XL, and if you put this floor like this, you can see what the difference is. We put holes all the way around the perimeter of the shroud on the heat chamber. And what that did is, when you measure the heat on one of these, most of the heat generated out of here is in the top third. So it sucks the air in through the vents on the side and then down through the floor. Now, we didn't want to get the air temperature over 110 degrees so we didn't bump up against the motor rating, but we were able to do that. We got it up to 105, 110 degrees. And what that did is allowed us to roast larger batches. On the side of the XL, you can see, if you can see this here, Brian, where that's all the holes that we have. There are 2 rows that we left in the original configuration. And if you get over here on the side of an XE, you see how much opening we had, because we were cooling this void with these openings. So upgrading would require covering up those holes except for the top 2 rows. And you could do that by just making a plate inside and putting it up against here so it looked a little bit better. You could even spray paint it black if you wanted it to look okay. But anyway, that would be basically the same configuration. To take the heat chamber out, it's not the end of the world, because you can do it without taking electronics out and stuff like that. Just take the thermocouple wire off the chimney and then take the loft motor off, take the air box off, and that comes apart because that sandwiches together on the floor, and that will give you access to the floor to drill holes in there. And you could actually do that. What you would want to do is, there's a 2-inch gap around the heat chamber shroud. Just go in 1 inch all the way around and draw a line 1 inch all the way around. If you were to drill 4 3/4-inch holes on each face all the way around, basically what you're going to be doing is kind of mimicking this, and that would be plenty of opening. And what that's going to do then is we'd be sucking air through the top here, capturing the heat off of this stack, going down and preheating the air. And that's basically how we did it. So yeah, it's not a terrible job because you don't have to remove the electronics or anything, but if you start that project and you start to have run into a few problems getting it back together, one of the things that I do when we put these together is we flip these upside down. I have a jig that this goes in and makes it easy for me to put the floor on. Well, you can't do that when it's in the body, right? So one of the things, it'll take 2 people to put it back together, 1 person to put this through the floor and then hold it into place while somebody else works on the bottom. because when you take the air box off, the heat chamber is just gonna fall over, because you're not gonna have it upside down like we have it. But so anyway, that's basically what that job entails. That's the only thing we did to change it. Then we put the Prometheus new side panel on as well on the XL. But so yeah, there you go. And if you have any questions about that, give me a call.